our 3-card spread. As you know, it's Tuesday, November 5th, and we're going to read from the Classic Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Pull 3 cards. We're going to read them whether they're in reverse or forward-facing. I will read them intuitively and then tell you what's going on. I will read them ethereally. How does that sound? And then I'll tell you what's going on in the way of the tarot. So just take a moment to take a nice big inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Just take 3 cleansing breaths. So if you really actually did do that, I appreciate that you did that. And then maybe take 1 more deep cleansing breath. I'm breathing with you. Hopefully you're not just like making fun of me and thinking that I'm not doing this cleansing breath. And let's go for the 3rd one. Take a nice big inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. What's really nice about taking the inhale and the exhale before the reading is it's just a good way to shift your energy. I think throughout the day we collectively pick up the energy of other people that we come in contact with, whether it's good or bad. Sometimes the stress of other people can make us feel stressed out. And, you know, just taking those cleansing breaths is a good way to kind of reset and restart before we move into anything else like reading the tarot cards. So let's read our first card together. Oh my God. Now you guys watched how much I shuffled. I actually was on the phone with Jamie for a long time before I started the tarot card reading. And she is a witness to seeing that I was shuffling because both she and her daughter were on with me while I was shuffling. We were like FaceTiming. So last night we pulled the Fool. And we pulled it tonight. Crazy. Only thing is last night the card was in reverse and tonight the card is in forward facing. So I just want to say before we start the reading that if you ever had any doubt in your mind that the tarot delivers accuracy or accurate information and delivers accuracy, then this would go to show you after how many times I shuffled before we started the live and during the live, that out of 78 cards, this card came up for us again this evening. So energetically, what I'm feeling about this card on an intuitive level is that there is this sense of curiosity. There is a desire and a need to start all over again. There is a thirst to finding maybe someone else's passion. Maybe on a deeper level, connecting to somebody else through their passion so that you can ultimately decide what is meant for you. Also with this card, I feel like you're tapping into an emotional imbalance that has been brewing for some time. And perhaps you weren't even aware of feeling a little off through your core, through your sense of will and your sense of power and sense of self. For a lot of us, when we don't feel like we're tapping into that strong sense of self, we feel weak. We feel like we need more on a monetary value. We need more abundance, more prosperity, and we don't really find contentment when there's this imbalance, almost in the sense of our solar plexus chakra. So whenever there's an imbalance in one of our energy centers, it ultimately winds up knocking off an imbalance in one of the other energy centers that are corresponding. Obviously, with having so many chakras and energy centers inside of our body, if one center is lacking, it can cause friction and lack of harmony in the chakra that it's connected to. So I would say that if you are feeling like you have a lack of power and a lack of self-confidence, then ultimately you could be sacrificing the space of creative energy, of motivation, of drive. You could be lacking in the space of self-love and self-compassion. And maybe ultimately you are not interested or focused on at this time the preservation of emotional value within oneself. So because that's going on, instead of looking at it on a bigger picture, you're seeking outside of yourself some sort of foundation in another way of finding that emotional balance or emotional freedom, which then causes us to think that it's time for a new beginning. And we talked about this a few weeks ago, but about not always necessarily needing a new beginning, because yesterday's old energy was today's new beginning. So you don't have to have a new beginning every day. You can have created today from last time's new beginning and be in peace in the space that you're in right now, and stop searching for something outside of yourself. Just live in harmony or in accordance to where you are today. The second card we pulled is the Queen of Cups in reverse. She is contemplating some sort of emotional freedom and some sort of emotional elasticity, where she's trying to figure out how far she can stretch her emotions. Is she getting enough, or is he getting enough? You know, because obviously in the tarot, a she can be a he and a he can be a she. Is he or she getting enough from within this domain of these four walls? And what is lacking in your sense of well-being, that you feel like you can no longer take care of yourself and everyone around you? Because ultimately, I think when we can't take care of ourselves, we find comfort in taking care of other people because it's an emotional distraction. We will long for the sense of nurturing and nourishing others because we don't want to look deep within. So what is going on that you now have lost sight of being a support system for yourself, and even being a support system for people around you? Maybe something pushed you to the edge where you felt like you were the type of person to always take care of other people, and you just don't want to be the person to fix everyone all the time, because that has been a role that you've been working on for a decade and it's not working for you anymore. I mean, maybe that's what drove you to this point, but your lack of desire to want to still help others has become unsatisfactory. Yes, we need to look out for ourselves and be mindful that we're not always bending over backwards to take care of other people, but that doesn't mean that you should give up on humanity and finding a sense of humanity. Where has that gone? Where has that craving to help others gone? What has driven you so far from who you truly are and what you value to bring you to the place of where you are today? And the third card we pulled is the King of Pentacles in reverse. So maybe the weight of supporting yourself is really upon you right now. Maybe at some point you had parents helping you, siblings helping you, friends helping you, a partner helping you. And now you recognize that yet again, you are on your own in supporting yourself, not only on an emotional level, but on a financial level. And it can be scary, I understand. We have been there before and we will be there again, I assure you. But that doesn't mean that you should lose sight of new perspectives and the desire to gain mental clarity on situations that are unfolding before you, because it's almost like an accordion where everything is attached to one another. When you think of an accordion, how there's so many different folds that need to come together to make harmony, yet as intricate as it is and as difficult as it is, it still has this energy of being in alignment and being in perfect harmony to sing a perfect tune, right? So try not to steer off of the course and get too sidetracked and get too caught up in your, I don't want to say pity party, but in your pity party, where you find yourself on this road alone. Yes, there's going to be a time when we all get old enough where we have to show up for ourselves on a financial level, on an emotional level. But that's all part of the process. I mean, even at my age, I recognize that I have to show up for myself financially, emotionally, and definitely on a physical level, especially now that I've been trying to change, you know, who I knew myself to be. And that can be very scary, because if you've been operating at the same pace and on the same terrain for a long time, obviously some new course is going to be scary, but we can't lose sight of the journey, the beginning, the process. So you have one major arcana card being supported by two minor arcana cards, and everybody that's a tarot card reader out there in the world has a different interpretation and has a different perception on how things should be in a tarot card reading. I really don't even disrespect anyone else's input, because I feel like it's all meant to be part of the tarot world. But I would say for myself as a tarot card reader that I've been reading for so very, very long, probably longer than most of you on my live feed tonight, will say that the tarot with the major arcana is what your archetype is today, what your personality is today. And then the two minor arcana cards that are supporting the major arcana cards are what are you actively doing. So you have the energy of starting all over again. You have this opportunity to start from the beginning, and there is some fear-based thinking behind that. So you don't necessarily have the clarity that you need to move in the direction that you want to move in, but you know that something has to give sooner or later. So I would say just keep in mind your worth, your reason for being. You're part of the process of everybody in front of you and everybody before you. So we have the Fool in first position, right? And then we have, one moment, let's see if I can get back to where I was. The Fool is in first position. And in second position is the Queen of Cups in reverse. And in third position is the King of Pentacles in reverse. So anytime you pull a reversal, I would say it's best to look at the card as forward facing before you read it as a reversal. Because the reversal doesn't mean it's opposite, it just means that something has changed. So in the way of the tarot, not intuitively, but just in the way of the tarot, I would say that you're setting out on this new path and it's a new beginning for you. Of course, all new beginnings can be scary because we don't know how big the change is. And obviously, if we pulled this card last night and we're pulling it again today, it definitely tells us even when we're not ready for change, change is coming. So it's almost like the Moldavite kick that I've been on for a little over a year, like a year and a half now. Even when we don't know we need change or we're not ready for change, change shows up in our lives and we just have to like stick to it like glue, adhere to it, obey by it. It's insane. We just have to throw ourselves to the wind. The second card that we pulled was the Queen of Cups, and in the way of the tarot, it's like being or having the desire to be in control of our emotions. But the card is reversed as something has changed. Maybe you feel completely out of control of your emotions at this time. rest assured, the full moon is upon us, so that makes sense. And the third card that we pulled is the King of Pentacles. I always say to look at it forward facing first. So the King of Pentacles in the way of the tarot is about having someone here to support you emotionally, support you in the way of finances, someone who you may need to turn to because they have a strong sense of financial security, and maybe at this time you don't. But the card is reversed, so I would say that you need to be mindful about your finances and your emotions at this time, especially while you're going on this new beginning. So if there is a new beginning, like if you're thinking about moving and there is some type of new beginning coming up for you, make sure that you are in an emotional state where you're healthy to be able to handle the move, and that you're in a good financial state, that you're financially able to take that move on. I can't help but think that as I just said that might have something to do with me, as I was just saying to you all to log on to my personal page and vote if I should move to California or not. Isn't that the way that when we're reading the tarot, it appeals to many people? So interesting. Alright, so for those of you that are new to joining us, we are on the YouTube channel under Jenna, J-E-N-A, Turner, T-U-R-N-E-R, every single night, well, 6 nights a week. And we are in the Instagram community under Breathe, with an E, Inspiring Gifts on Instagram. I will share this video on YouTube, so it'll be there permanently if you missed it. I thank you all for joining us on the YouTube community.